the Honorable Minister for Environment, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, my fellow Fijians, Bulaminaka, and a very good morning to you all. I'm delighted to be here this morning to launch this year's National Environment Week after arriving back in Fiji last night from my overseas visit. A very special Bulaminaka to all you school children who are here today in such numbers. I will always say that the biggest thrill I get as Prime Minister is to see the bright and shining faces of our young people. Because you are the future of our nation, and the hopes of your parents, the rest of your families, and the whole nation rest on your shoulders. This celebration today is mainly for you, to remind us all that we have a duty to leave you the same clean, green environment that our parents left us, to breathe the same clean air, swim in the same clean seas, and drink the same clean water that we had the privilege of doing. And I have a very important message to you all this morning that I want you to listen to very carefully. We need every single Fijian child to join the fight to keep our precious nation clean and green. Even the youngest of you has a very important role to play, and I want older children especially to take the lead. If you see a piece of rubbish on the ground, pick it up and take it to a rubbish bin or somewhere where it can be collected. If you drink from a plastic bottle or a package, like the free milk we're giving Year 1 students, don't throw it on the ground or leave it at the beach. Dispose of it properly. If your parents send you to the shops to get some bread or other supplies, ask them to give you a basket to carry them in. Because if you take your own basket to the shops, then you won't need to ask for a plastic bag to bring your things home in. We are using too many plastic bags, and they are one of the worst things for our environment. They don't break down naturally and having a terrible impact on land and at sea. We in Fiji have of course set our goal to eventually have 100% biodegradable plastic bags. If you look at our rivers and coastlines, you will often find plastic bags floating in the water, or plastic bottles and containers littering the shore or floating out at sea. We have to stop rubbishing our country and rubbishing the ocean around us. And the fight to keep Fiji clean starts with you, every single one of you. I want you to be nature's and Fiji's warriors, to stand up for our environment and protect our beautiful surroundings. Imagine how clean Fiji would be if every Fijian child took up this challenge. If every Fijian child went around picking up rubbish and getting other children to join in. This is the way you can help us keep Fiji as a place that the whole world admires for its cleanliness and beauty. This is the way we can all live in better surroundings. If we stop seeing the protection of the environment as someone else's problem and start taking responsibility ourselves. So children, this is the message I have for you today as we launch National Environment Week, and for every other Fijian child. Become a warrior for cleaner and greener Fiji. Join the fight to protect our environment. And if you do, you will grow up in a country you can always be proud of, because we will be setting a wonderful example to the rest of the world. That's why this week is so important, as we all think, young people and grown-ups, about the importance of maintaining our environment for the benefit of ourselves and of future generations. I've just come from Japan and Thailand, where I attended a number of important meetings at which we talked about sustainable development. Let me tell you what sustainable development means. It means that everything we do as a nation, every project we undertake, only goes ahead if it doesn't damage the environment. We never use any resource, whether it is our trees on land or our fish at sea, unless we leave enough of them so they can still grow in sufficient numbers to be able to use them again and to keep using them as the years go by. We take only what we need or what we can grow for ourselves. If we can be sure that we are leaving enough for your children and your grandchildren to use, to develop what we have in a sustainable manner. In our Constitution, our supreme law, we guarantee that every person has the right to a clean environment, which includes, of course, the right to have our natural world protected for the benefit of ourselves and of future generations. So keeping Fiji clean and green isn't just being sensible. We have to do it. It is the law. So let us join hands as a nation and use National Environment Week this year to make a solemn promise to ourselves as Fijians that we will all strive as hard as we can to protect our surroundings and the world in which we live, to take great pride in keeping Fiji clean and Fiji green. Our environment is increasingly under pressure. During the past 10 years, our population has extended by 13%. So as time goes by, and as Fiji grows, we are having more of a negative impact on our natural surroundings. And we need to think very carefully about how that affects the health of our land, our rivers, our streams, and our coastlines. One of the most pressing problems is the amount of rubbish we are all generating. Let me give you an example of the pressure we are facing at just one of our waste disposal facilities, the Namboro Sanitary Landfill. A record 75,000 tons of household and commercial waste was received at this landfill in 2014, 12% more than the year before. This is just one rubbish dump. So as our population grows and we generate more waste, we need to be a lot smarter and more careful about how we dispose of it. My government is establishing a waste transfer station in the Central Division, where we will start separating our rubbish and put aside items that can be recycled. And as time goes by, this is what we are planning to do at municipalities throughout Fiji. This will require everyone to think more carefully about our household rubbish, to learn what is waste and what can be used again, to look for a sign on a package or a bottle that tells you it can be recycled and not put those items in the same bin. It basically involves being more thoughtful about how we treat the waste we produce. And this is going to become more and more important as time goes by. We also need to choose products that require less energy, to choose cars that use less fuel, refrigerators, and washing machines that use less electricity or less water. The first electric vehicle in Fiji was launched last week, and I understand we're showcasing this here today, cars that can be recharged by plugging them into power points rather than filling them with expensive and polluting fuel. So at every level, whether it is waste disposal, adopting more efficient technology, or conserving our resources, my government has embraced the principle of sustainable development. And I ask every citizen to join us on this crusade for a cleaner, greener Fiji. Because as I stressed at the meetings I attended in Japan and in Thailand last week, there is no point in us working on our own. We need the support of everyone, every business, every community group, every school, every child, to keep our environment healthy. The first World Environment Day was celebrated 42 years ago. And unfortunately, since that time, in many places around the globe, the state of environment hasn't got better. It's got a lot worse. So this is a fight we need everyone to join in, and I ask all you to leave here today thinking about what you can do to help protect our nation and help protect our planet. The theme of this year's World Environment Day is 7 billion dreams, one planet consumed with care. It reminds us that there are 7 billion people in the world and we all share the one vulnerable space. We have to use our resources carefully to put sustainability at the top of everything we do, to do more with less and stretch our resources further. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, I will be officially launching our Green Growth Framework, which is a blueprint for our sustainable development, and will be incorporated into the new national development plans we are currently in the process of formulating for the next 5 years and the next 20 years. This framework will only be effective if everyone gets behind it. So I ask every Fijian to take up the challenge to make it work, a challenge that requires us all to work together as one nation to protect Fiji and the wonderful place we all call home. I now have the great pleasure to officially launch Environment Week 2015. Valevevu, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the National Environment Week banner. Thank you very much.